seahorse radish, the gnarliest stuff in the ocean.
Oh, hold on! I've got a jar of toenail clippings in my office.
Oops, I dropped it in the toilet.
Well, fish it out, and I'll dry it with my gym socks. Why, that's the most diabolical Krabby Patty ever spawned.
I call it the Nasty Patty.
Hey gamers, welcome back. Why does it seem that Doddy's trying to destroy his game every other week? So I was debating whether I should make a video about the camera changes, but it seems like the community already came on its own to go against it. I didn't have to like grow creatures for like 12 hours just to get the numbers and show how bad these new growth times were, so I'm kind of happy I didn't have to lead the charge this time. But if you guys are unaware, there's going to be some camera changes that Doddy is working on. So to put it in perspective, the new camera changes are around here. They're going to be around here, front of view, and from like side view. From what I saw from Omni, it's going to be like this. There's going to be like different perspectives on camera. So sides are going to be like this, and the front view is going to be like this. And then you're asking, well, why is he making the changes? Apparently ambushing is too hard. Even with the current camera system, it's really not hard to land ambushes. I have hundreds of videos of me ambushing as a Carno. Even though that's I don't know why it's a controversial opinion, but apparently people don't like that Carno can ambush, and people are like, oh, Carno cannot ambush, it's a plane hunter, how is it gonna land an ambusher? It's a poor ambusher, and it's really not. That's just the fastest creature currently. Something looks away, boom, charge. You know, and I even ambush things as Tenno. I've ambushed Carnos as Tenno. So it's really not hard. And for example, there's like certain scenarios where it's easier ambushing. For example, when they're eating, there's a camera lock, and then as soon as you let go eating, there's an animation lock. When you're drinking, there's a camera lock, and most people are just looking for dinos in the water rather than something right behind them. And then when they're sitting, I mean, I don't have to explain why that's the perfect time to attack when something is sitting, right? I don't know. I really don't understand some decisions they're making. For example, the whole like protein and carbs being meta, and people were mainly using that thing, and then reverting the diet changes, making everyone have to have all nutrients and having everyone follow one meta. You know, just some things just don't make any sense to me. Like that's like you're just contradicting yourself. And some of you might not know about this, but not too long ago, it was primarily Hypno making the big changes. And yeah, some of Hypno's changes were kind of ridiculous. But for example, like I don't know, when Sub and Juvie Dinos could run in half a mile inland and then grab something, run back to water, and still have enough stamina to drown them. But at least he like tried making the game fun for every party. Like that was his whole goal, just making the game fun for everyone. But it kind of seems Doddy has taken the exact opposite approach, and like, hey, I wonder how much misery I can make my community have before they start getting pissed off at me. And pretty much this happened around the time around Gateway. They released Gateway, so they made the map exponentially larger, right? At the same time, they nerf stamina. According to Punch, it was mainly to stop people PvPing. So people in the Outcourt, they just started clapping, saying Doddy is saving the game. I am so tired of people ruining my experience. I don't want to get attacked, and it's so toxic if you attack me. And the other half was just, it was not even the other half, the other majority was writing why these changes were so awful and they should revert it, but still alas, the minority won. So I waited a couple weeks before I had my opinion. And the new stamina changes, they were just awful for moving around and traveling around the map, moving to migrations. And I kind of created two new hotspots, which was like Northeast and East Plains, because no one wanted to travel anywhere. It was kind of pointless, especially with the hunger time some carnivores had. No one just wanted to migrate around the map. That stamina, the initial stamina changes were actually fairly good for combat, especially if you're playing like, I don't know, Trudon. Actually, I have videos of me playing Trudon and like melting mix packs, because once they start running or using attacks that use stamina, they don't get it back. So that stamina was actually, in fact, really good for PvP. But just shit for traveling in general. Especially if you were anything that just used shift to move around the map. Months later, they double down. We got better stamina changes. And then even more recently, they doubled down again. But then here comes like the second decision Donnie made. It was like the 2 times growth times during the first horde test. There were some people that were like, why make the growth times longer? And then there was like, I don't know, the same people cheering, oh my god, Donnie is fixing the game. It's gonna stop people from KOSing. Or I guess in this game they call it canning. It's no longer KOSing, it's canning. Because apparently if you're not ratting around and hiding from everything and just sitting on a rock chatting with everyone all day, any alternative form of gameplay is just considered toxic. My initial response was like, well, there's a giant difference between challenging, hardcore, and difficult versus longer and tedious. There's just 2 different things. And for example, just look at Stego. Like, Stego is between 4 to 5 hours and people still grow. Stego isn't even that hard to grow. It's just time consuming. You know, I started making videos on them. I was like, well, Tenno being at 3 hours and 6 minutes, Packy being at 2 hours and 3 minutes, and then Carno being at 2 hours and 9 minutes, Serato being at an hour, Dryo at an hour. Like, some of these changes made absolutely 0 sense. Again, the people from the outport somehow found a way to defend it. Well, it's gonna stop Packies and Tennos from KOSing. Like, why are they attacking me when I'm playing Carno? Like, they don't eat plants, and the whole thing was like, oh, just eat plants and die. And I was like, bro, what? And I was kind of astonished to see how the average Alcordian was willing to make the general experience miserable instead of just simply being aware of their surroundings. So the numbers started crunching out, and somehow, again, the Alcordians found the most ridiculous way to defend the growth times. You know, they was just so absurd. It was like, well, you know, bisons, they mature in 2 years, while humans take around 18 to 20 years to mature. So Carnos are the bisons because they have to grow really quickly and gain weight. And since Packy has a big head, it's obviously a human, so it should still take longer. And I was like, bro, that's kind of ridiculous. Why are you comparing a Packy to a human and Carno to a bison? And then now, Dondi with his new changes. Like, I don't know what's up with Dondi. No one asked for this. Ambushing isn't generally hard. I've done it so many times. The average OWL player is like hyper unaware. And generally, no one wants these changes. It was in the dev blog. He streamed it, so I was like, well, I don't know if I have to throw my 2 cents in there. I don't have to leak this charge this time. But there's generally, most of the community is upset about it. Yet again, somehow there's Alcordians defending it, and it does make me think that the OWL devs actually don't play their game. So I was made aware of something's going on in the Alcord. Someone sent me a couple links from Reddit, and a lot of Reddit users were posting screenshots of them getting banned from the Alcord for simply stating their opinion about the new camera changes, and they were getting silenced and labeled as misinformation, but they were just all stating their opinions. And I do believe, and the devs are kind of known for doing this. I am an ex-Stress Test member, and Dondi actually nuked people for just stating their opinions about the night vision. I have clear memories of that happening. So this doesn't actually surprise me at all. I threw one in the water.
You know what? Tell me when you threw them.
Killed one. Killed the other one. They're all done.
front of it, recall, and then wait for it to make its first move.